This. Back again, everybody. Where are they now? Bearcat Hoop segment with another legend from Bearcat Hoop, Bridger Harlington, starting shooting guard on our Northwest Conference semifinal team. Washington Loyalist. Bridge, how you doing, man? Say hello to everybody.
Doing good. I like that legend term. I like
right?
it.
You know, yes. I didn't even do air quotes on this end. I just said it. So, Bridge, another one in a great line of interviews we've been doing to help people know just where Bearcats are after their playing days and what they're up to. And Bridger's always got a lot of things going on, a lot of ideas, always been a guy that's about action and going out and trying things. So, Bridge, I'm going to give you a couple minutes, man. Just take us from you graduated, you, Bub, and AB, you guys graduate. Where does Bridger go from there and to where he is today?
Right, so we graduated, and honestly, Coach, I got my degree in economics, and I wasn't sure, quite what I wanted to do. I reached out to a lot of, I kind of thought I was going to do investment banking right out of school. Kind of reached out, talked to a lot of people in the industry, even shadowed, did a small internship in kind of a wealth management role, and I just kind of figured out that in my 5-year plan, I wanted to build something that, I would own. I'd have more ownership of, and kind of where that path is going to take me. So I ended up kind of falling back on mortgages, which I really liked the opportunity to help people buy homes, and I got kind of a cool opportunity to work with a big producer and learn from them and get into the business as kind of an assistant who was going to be groomed to be a producer on their own and kind of a 6-month to 12-month plan. So I ended up doing that about 3 months out of school. Okay. And I've been doing that for the last 2 years. I've been out on my own producing for a solid 14 months now, and just crushing my goals. So I'm just loving life right now.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Talk to me, one of the terms you use there, your 5-year plan. And obviously I know you as somebody that always put your mind to a goal and went about making sure the process was sound to get to it. But where did you develop that mindset for your career? Was that from your folks? Is that from something in undergrad? Because not a lot of guys, when they get right out, can tell me that coaches didn't fit my 5-year plan.
Right, and I think for me, Coach, and you know this about me, is my girlfriend has a pretty big influence in her food blog, so I wanted something that was going to be kind of flexible as far as work-life balance, something that I could do while I was traveling, because she has kind of a lot of cool travel opportunities that come her way. And so for me, my 5-year plan is what does my day look like when I wake up, and then I kind of went through that step and making sure that was the right fit. And then when I figured out, hey, I don't want to necessarily be tied down to an office every day. Yeah. Okay, well, what are jobs that, I can do, build relationships, things that I'm good at, work to my strengths, making relationships with people, and utilizing that ability to connect with people, to be able to work wherever I'm from. And then on top of that, I went out and found a company that was really focused on the digital side of things.
Oh, yes,
because I knew that would allow me to, the freedom of being wherever I needed to be at that time and still getting the job done.
Right. So that you probably got a little bit of a budget in technology, because I'm assuming you got to be up to date with your phone, with your devices and everything. So you
I do.
So you couldn't have this droid that I'm talking to you with on right now, is what you're saying.
I don't know if I could do it, Coach. You're a better man than I am. I'm an Apple addict.
You and my wife both, man. She keeps telling me. I tell her I'm loyal, and I'm loyal to a fault. So, hey, talk to me about, you mentioned the undergrad at Willamette with economics. Do you feel like daily you're drawing on something from a class, or is it more the experience of while you were here? And we'll jump into the basketball and the athlete part of you, but just from your experience as a student here, what do you draw on in your day-to-day?
Yeah, I think there's two things, Coach. I mean, one is, kind of the obvious application of economics to what I do for a living, which is mortgages. So kind of digesting economic data and working with my clients to make sure I'm utilizing my degree and being able to, look at the bond market, look at the 10-year treasury, and make accurate decisions on whether or not it's a good time for them to lock in an interest rate. Yeah. That's kind of the daily application I get from the actual economics degree, which is pretty invaluable in my industry just because not a lot of people have that same background. Yeah. A bigger thing for just me as a person and kind of how I run my business I look at myself as a CEO of my own small business, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I view myself. So my time is really important. And what I learned at Willamette was time management,
Mm-hmm.
and that's huge for me now. I think I've, kind of 10x'd it as far as where I was then to where I am now, but that
Yeah.
kind of gave me the pillars to build on.
Yeah.
My whole morning and everything is time blocked.
Okay.
As far as we call it green time. So time where I'm going out and meeting with realtors, meeting with referral partners, trying to prospect new business. I have time set aside for where I'm working on current clients when I'm working with them, answering their questions. I have different power hours every day of the week where I'm calling different parts of my business,
Okay.
whether it's referral partners, new referral partners, old referral partners. I have a wedding list where it's just, people, essentially, if I had infinite money to invite to a wedding, if it's 100 people, I would call.
That's awesome.
And I call those people. So I have different things like that, just
Yeah.
time management-wise, that I think is huge.
Yeah.
That I got from Willamette, and especially from the program. I know you were big on that our freshman year.
Mm-hmm. I love that you just used 10x in that language, because that shows me how old I am and how young you are, and you're speaking that language. The 10x, everybody, that's so good. What about, Bridge? Talk about what you took, and it doesn't have to be, hey, specifically when I played against Linfield, but what did you take as an athlete, playing basketball your whole life, playing at a high level in college? What is that? What experiences or maybe skill sets or mindsets do you use day to day?
Man, I think it's a few things again. I think one is just the mental toughness. I know you know this, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't come in just a projected starter, everything like that. So just the mental toughness to look, kind of reflect on what I'm doing and make sure I'm putting my time in places that it's going to give me a good return.
Yeah.
As far as, what drills do I need to be working on for sports, and for this is kind of the same thing. What am I putting my time into here that's giving me a good return, and always being proactive about fixing that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I think is just the kind of the work ethic.
Okay.
In this industry especially, I mean, no one's watching over me, making sure I'm doing work. Like I don't get paid if I don't produce. You know? So
right.
for me, it's kind of the same way. No one's making sure you're on the gun shooting every day.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're all going to see it come, November,
Yeah.
October. It's going to be really obvious, if
Yeah.
you were running in the summer and everything like that. So just those two little things, I think, they translate really good, really well to the industry. I think no matter what industry you're in.
Have you, and this is something that's come up in some of the other interviews we've done with some former teammates here, Jared Baumgartner, Kyle McNally. Have you noticed, have you seen employers, like you mentioned yourself, you're kind of the CEO of your own kingdom, but have you come across in the workforce, in any industry, a preference towards athletes, or at least the experience that athletes bring to a staff or a group of people working in any field?
Yeah, for sure. Especially in sales, Coach, because you have to be goal oriented. You have to be driven. You have to have good work ethic. These are all things that translate to sports.
Yeah.
Me, especially being in a sales role, it's invaluable
Right.
that they look for that. And then you always find other people, right, that are really into sports, or like I had my regional who played college football, and it's like, okay, so we relate on that level a lot, talking about college sports.
Yeah.
So I think there's different things like that, but I can't imagine it not being a huge asset to you just because of all the things we've just talked about.
Right. Before I let you go, Bridge, tell us how we keep up to date with you. I know I'm following you on different platforms. You and the missus are this entrepreneurial power couple up there in the Northwest, but how do people keep up with you and stay in touch with what you're doing?
Probably my Instagram is my most current, where I am, what I'm doing. As far as work, my Facebook landing page for my work itself, I got a lot of video content that I've been producing lately that I'm about to start dropping within the next couple weeks, kind of for first-time home buyers and new stuff.
That's
Always
awesome.
looking to kind of push the envelope that way.
Yep.
So I think I got that from you, though.
Hey, I appreciate it, buddy. You got to take something out of here.
Right.
Hey, Bridge, we really appreciate it, man. It was awesome talking to you and hearing about the successes. And one thing I thought was really cool that you mentioned was, you didn't come in here as a guy that was, this Michael Bridger Harlington is going to score 35 his first year. You know, it's always been fun to tell your story as a guy that made himself into a starter, made himself into what we considered an all-conference player. And it's obvious that you're doing the same thing out there in the business world. So that's great, man, and we wish you nothing but luck, bud.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate you, man.